Maybe this is why I do not deserve subscribers and views and monetization. Well, at least so far. Greetings, my name is Nina. Welcome back to my channel. Now, here's something I wanted to talk about on this channel. I started making YouTube videos featuring myself back in 2021. I've created a separate channel named Another Reader, and I've made the videos of really horrible quality, and I uploaded there in English. But then I decided to transform this old channel of mine, where I had around 700 subscribers, into the English one. I moved all English videos here and remade Another Reader into a Russian channel. When I started doing these YouTube videos, I tried to follow all the different booktube formats. Bookshelf tours, favorite books, book hauls, reading raps, reading vlogs, you name it. All the standard YouTube formats. And book recommendations too. As time went on, I slowly started drifting away from these formats. Well, not all of them, but some of them, they are no longer on my channel. Or at least I do not follow these formats enough or follow them in my own way. One of the reasons behind this is that such formats, the standard booktube formats, they did not grant me solid viewership. Now, when I think about it, unironically, this is a really good thing. Well, because, above all, I really do not like some of your standard booktube formats. I'm not a huge fan of monthly wrapped videos. I'd rather make a separate video dedicated to book. Yeah, I think it's better. If I want to hear about a particular book, I do not need to watch a full video. Yeah, I really do not like the monthly wraps because they feel like obligations. I do not think they are too creative. I dislike them not only as a booktube video maker, but also as a watcher too. Yes, I'm not just a YouTuber, I'm also a regular viewer too. And I am not a fan of wrapped videos. I find them kinda boring. Well, I do like reading vlogs and bookshelf tours. Bookshelf tours are really fun to watch. I like them and I make such videos too once a year. And reading vlogs, I should be making more of them, but I'm too lazy to do that. I love book haul videos, however, I think if you have been my viewer in the last year, you noticed that the book hauls do not appear on my channel anymore because viewership. And it was said that book hauls, they grant viewership on booktube. Doesn't work for me, even though I love book haul format. However, I noticed that I'm not fond of book haul videos these days as a regular viewer. I will address this later. Book recommendations are actually pretty cool, gonna make more of them. I also like making other types of videos on this channel. I have travel vlogs, and I also like to talk about music. I'm not a professional musician, not at all, I'm just a regular listener. But I do think that a perspective of a regular listener should also be taken into account. Anyway, I like music and I talk about it too. I have scripted videos like this one, and then I have a rant videos where I simply speak my mind, when I speak whatever comes to my mind. Yeah, my channel is about a lot of different things, but above all, my channel is about books. Like you have guessed, I am inconsistent in formats and I like to experiment. I like doing various things. I used to have much more experiments in the past, now not anymore. Not so much. Another reason why I'm not that great of a YouTuber, well, because I upload irregularly, I film, I script, film, edit, and upload whenever I like. Obviously, I'm trying to make more videos, but sometimes I do not feel like it, or at least I'm writing a script for the video and I need time. Yeah, either I'm not in the mood or I need time for a certain video. Or sometimes I'm simply out of ideas, or the ideas are too demanding, or I feel like it's not the right time for a certain idea. Also, I do need to make a confession. I have remade some of my old videos. My early videos, my really early videos that I made back in 2021, they suck because the quality is terrible. And I remade my favorite books video that I have on my old channel. Well, because there was no thumbnail back then. I did not know how to make them. Quality was terrible, the camera wasn't great, and the video was too dark. And last but not least, the video did not age well. There were some books in the video that later dropped out. Well, in fairness, some books from my favorite books video from the last year, they didn't age well either. True, two of the books dropped out, and now I need to make a new video because I found new favorites. I do think that this is a really cool strategy to remake videos. Well, sometimes it's because it's justified, well, because quality sucked back in the day, or some ideas did not age well, or sometimes simply just because. Gonna remake some of my old videos, I guess. Yeah, now I feel like Hollywood. Less original ideas and more remakes. Although in my case, it's justified. And I also have a lot of shorts on my channel. All of the shorts were originally TikTok videos. I only upload some of the videos. To this day, my video about Misery by Stephen King, it brings me views to this day. Yes, I post videos irregularly whenever I feel like it, on whenever topic I feel like it. Sometimes I need time to make videos, and you name it. And I have short. And now let's move on from YouTube videos themselves. The quality, the formats, you name it, and let's go straight to the books. I think if you have seen my previous videos, you know that I like talking about various different books here. Genre or author doesn't matter to me. My interest in the book and my perception of it is what that matters to me. And I do my best to share them with you in an approachable way. And my favorite way of discovering books is simply going to a bookstore and finding a random book. While I still consider this way of finding books the best, recently I started noticing flaws about it. This needs to be addressed in a separate video. Anything that captures my attention, anything I find interesting, I'm going to pick it up at a certain time. Of course, I do have a dominant genre, but there's a place for other genres too. I watch a lot of bookish videos, and then I noticed a pattern, and this is related to why I dislike book hauls these days. Not a huge fan of them now. No, it isn't just the fact that a lot of booktubers, especially big booktubers, they tend to buy the same books. It isn't even just that they buy too much books. Yes, I think they buy too much, and these words are coming from somebody who does love buying books. And it isn't even the fact that booktubers, they tend to promote a certain popular book that is going to be forgotten in 6 months. Not even that. So it's neither the quantity of books, not the sameness of books, or even the fact that a lot of the books are going to be forgotten in 6 months. I mean that there's recently popular books that are going to be out of the picture in months. Wait, there's more to that. Now, of course, the booktubers, they tend to pick up books based on their popularity. I've talked about this before, and I'm not necessarily a fan of that. If you want to know more, just check out my things I dislike about booktube video. It's still relevant. However, what I did not realize back when I was making the video, is that this works in a other way around too. However, what I didn't realize back in the day, back when I was making the video, is that it worked the other way around too. Booktubers selected books based on their popularity or the lack thereof. Yes, in their videos you're going to see a lot of obscure books that people are going to forget about in a few minutes after they finish watching the video. You know what? I noticed the same pattern in metal media. And yes, I'm one of those people who does read the metal media, well, at least the headlines. I quickly scroll through them and move on. A lot of articles are either every single small detail about Metallica, or they are about a vast majority of obscure bands that you're going to forget about. I am guaranteed that you've never heard of most of the bands that metal media like Loudwire, Blabbermouth, and Metal Injection they speak about. I think you've never heard of majority of the bands. The metal YouTubers, they tend to do the same thing too. In order to be covered, the band has to be either very popular like Metallica or to be very underground. There's no in between. Your band enjoys some level of popularity but nothing mainstream. Well, you can get lost. You're not popular enough, and you are not underground enough. Well, at least that's what metal YouTubers think, and metal media too. Okay, I get that reviewing books and metal albums is basically the jobs of YouTubers. That's basically their job, I understand that. But one needs to be careful chasing popular things or going after underground stuff for diversity points. They're going to make your channel mundane. Sure, viewers can discover something new for themselves. However, such channels, they're going to lack genuinity. Sorry, I am not a native English speaker, so this was a hard word for me to pronounce. You know what? I wish that a lot of YouTubers, well, book YouTubers, metal YouTubers, you name it, they expressed that they're big fans of certain books and bands, but still discovered new ones. It's interesting to talk about new facts about your favorite band or your favorite author or book or you name it. That would make content more genuine and much more interesting. And it's better to talk about these obscure things, obscure books, and you name it, only after you realize that you genuinely like them and not because it's the hype or whatever. Speaking of popularity, well, chasing popular books, it's not going to work. Well, at least it didn't work for me. I've talked about popular books from day one. It didn't work for me. I did mention them. I did say nice things about them, it didn't work. At the same time, this fact is really freeing. You feel free about that. Because if popular stuff does not grant you viewership, feel free to talk about stuff that you actually like. As you can see, I do not chase trends. I'm not saying this to brag to you. I'm not saying this because, oh yeah, I'm so cool. I do not like popular stuff. I'm different. Not because of that, but because why? Why should I do it? I do not find the chasing trends interesting or artistically fulfilling. Yeah, YouTubers are also artists. I do not find such content interesting, and also it doesn't work for me. Chasing trends makes your channel stale, mundane, uninteresting, you name it. This is why I am a terrible YouTuber. Irregular uploads, the abandonment of popular formats, and above all, making things my own way. And that's all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Goodbye.